and welcome to Community Report this week. 39 years ago, the federal government of Nigeria hosted several cultural representatives from Africa, Europe, and America to the second World Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture, better remembered as Festac 77. To host the over 17,000 participants from over 50 countries, Nigeria's government built a block of flats located along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway for ease of logistics. After the event, those houses were up for grabs through balloting to anyone who qualified. The estate was equipped with world-class facility, and the entire area could house about 100,000 people. We visited there this week and want to bring to you the state of affairs in that community called Festac Town. Thanks for joining us. I'm Olu Phillips. In most cities across Nigeria, it is now a commonplace to find housing estates of all types, shapes, and sizes. The trend, perhaps an uncharted one, has increasingly plugged the widening housing gap, largely referred to as housing deficits. Even in built-up areas, property developers have sought to rebuild some structures, segregate it, and then give it some semblance of an estate. And usually, it will be identified with nice-sounding names. In Lagos, for instance, living in estates is almost a status symbol posture. Clearly, what that signifies is that most city dwellers have come to identify and appreciate the comfort and luxury associated with such apartments. But the concept and history of segregated living quarters or designated block of houses and flats dates back to time. One classical example is the set of houses built by the federal government in the 70s in what is generally now referred to as Festac Town. Festac Town may not be quickly identified by many as a housing estate and one that has grown to become a large community made up of different ethnic extractions from Nigeria and beyond. Festac Town has a history and a unique one at that. Going back in time, 1977 to be precise, Nigeria hosted the second World Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture, a celebration of what was regarded as a great art and cultural assembly of Africans and African Americans, which held for 1 month in Nigeria from the 15th of January until the 12th February 1977. Most of the festival took place in Lagos, in the main conference and cinema halls of National Theatre, Igomu, which was built for the event, the National Stadium in Surulere, Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos, and the Lagos City Hall. So, where those Festac housing estates come into play in the Festac 77 equation?
Festac is wonderfully located, and most importantly because it was built to host guests who have come to participate at the Black African Culture Festival then. And every facility was put in place, all facility. There is hardly any estate in Nigeria that is like Festac Town. You can only see similar thing in Israel, America, UK, and few areas of the world. Festac play host to it was built to accommodate barely over 100,000 people, barely over. But right now we have over 300,000 people in Festac, mostly squatters.
The place now known today as Festac Town, which is a federal housing estate located along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway in Lagos, southwest Nigeria, was built for the purposes of accommodating participants who came for the second World Festival of Arts and Culture, popularly called Festac 77. The estate, by design, consists of 5,000 contemporary units and 7 major avenues. Indeed, many who saw it in its original state attest to the efficient grid facility that could accommodate up to 45,000 visitors and Nigerians who were working at the festival.
When we were growing up, Festac was just blocks of building. Do you get? And just to divert a little bit, it used to be where the Tush people were. You know, if you want a rich friend and all that, you must have people in Festac. But over the years, there's been other structure, and it's funny of how Festac has developed, bringing other businesses like Cold Stone is in Festac, KFC, and when all these guys started coming in, it brought more life to Festac. And recently, there was the ShopRite coming in, you know, Festac Town too. And for now, I can say Festac has developed, and more can still happen.
My parents moved into Festac in 1978. Our first point of stay was at 22 Road A Close, Block 6, Flat 8. I remember in those days we had telephones along the stairways. Most of the block, or most of the flat had phones installed in them. They had furniture there. Remember, it played host to people who had come for a festival. And everything was working wonderfully well. We had gardeners, we had security operatives. You cannot see people hawking on the street of Festac. There were no marauders, there were no squatters, and all of these things. You come to Festac now, empty plot of land. It's been habited by squatters who you cannot identify. In Festac now, you have a lot of transportation means that are not registered and can be identified. You have some transportation means like bikes moving without plate numbers. Take a survey. For every 10 bikes, you can hardly find one with a plate number. Rather, what you see is police color on them. So if they commit any harakiri or any crime, how do you zero down on them? You go to the entrance gates, you find vendors all over the place. You find people who should not be there. I don't want to use derogative words or terminology for them. You go to Alakija, you will be scared, third gate, of standing there. I got rid of all this thing at a point. At a point through the security committee meeting that we hold monthly security council meeting. At a point we had to work with the UPMESA.
Festac, when we move in, the little problem we have was this place was not as popular as it is now because there was crisis of transport. There was crisis of where to buy certain things. And that is why Festac people must be very grateful to Fortune Ibe. It's a person who listens. So we started organizing ourselves in 3 communities because the build-up area is mapped to be 3 communities, community 1, 2, 3. The Festac map, generally, including the unbuilt area, is mapped out to be 7 communities. So those of us in that 3 communities, we now met him, and he agreed to build small kiosks for us. I think he built about 63 or 163 or 63, and we ballot for it, those who need it. I didn't ballot for that because I was not thinking of selling anything. In fact, I was not selling anything, so I didn't need. Basically, women ballot for it, and we now have areas where we can buy our immediate need, like sugar or provisions, and then some condiments like salt and so on. So we have that. That relieves us. Then, because Festac then, if you come here, you will like Festac. Minus the few things I mentioned. Festac is like a little London.